National Turkey, EPSA United Kingdom. Please raise your voting cards high. Please raise your voting cards high. I have counted 23 voting members present.
And I resume the standing orders. So, as I explained the previous session, we'll first proceed to the motions in regards to the financial documents, and then we'll go to the European Affairs Department.
Thank you, Eva. So I will read the motion. So the motion says, the 56th EPSA General Assembly accept the final financial report August 2017, July 2018. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Okay, Josephine.
Hi, Josephine, Audit Committee member. We have audited all the financial documents and they are correct. So the Audit Committee really advises you to vote on this motion.
Thank you, Josephine. If there are any more comments, okay, so I'm closing the floor for discussion on this motion. We will proceed to the voting. Anyone against, please raise your voting card up high. Any abstentions? The motion was carried unanimously. We will proceed to the next motion. The 56th EPSA General Assembly accept the annual budget 2018-2019. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Okay, Josephine.
Okay, so Josephine, Audit Committee member. So the Audit Committee has audited these documents and we advise you to vote.
Thank you, Josephine. I'm closing the floor for discussion on this motion. We will proceed to the voting. Anybody against, please raise your voting cards up high. Any abstentions? The motion was carried unanimously. Next motion, the 56th EPSA General Assembly accept the intermediate financial report August 2018, October 2018. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. Josephine?
Josephine, Audit Committee member. The Audit Committee has audited these documents and we advise you to vote on them.
Thank you, Josephine. I close the floor for discussion on this motion and we will proceed to the voting. Anybody against, please raise your voting card up high. Any abstentions? The motion was carried unanimously. Okay, so we have all the motions about the financial report, and we will now go for the reports, and we will do reports of European Affairs Department, And we'll start with the Vice President. So, Marta, if you could please give your update.
Yes. Come.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Working, okay. So, since I submitted my report, I was in contact with the Erasmus Student Network for updates on our mobility position paper. Also, I've reviewed the fact sheets on mobility 2 more times before they were released and provided my feedback to the Policy Affairs Coordinator. I've been in contact with the EPSA, the European Healthcare Associations Summit, to provide EPSA's feedback on 2 policy documents to be released. The AMR policy document, the position paper that was updated on antimicrobial resistance, and also the position paper to be released on open access. This is still in discussion. I've released the minutes and prepared the agenda for the live EduProf meeting. I prepared the materials for it since on the last day I received a lot of feedback, so I implemented that feedback on my presentation and delivered that meeting. In regards to the EPSA annual reception, I figured out the topic. I've confirmed the host, the member of the European Parliament to host, and the date. And I've prepared the advocacy workshop and delivered it yesterday.
Thank you, Marta. Do we have any comments, questions, or feedback? Okay, I have PPHD Germany.
PhD Germany, Konstantin. Yeah, thank you for your work so far. I have a question concerning EduProf. You stated in your report that the communication has not been as much as I wished. Quote, I actually agree on that. I think we can work a lot more on EduProf. However, I feel that it is now time for us members to provide more content there, since I see it as a communication platform. So I think the platform is there already. It is working. We are meeting regularly, but I feel like we're not discussing much. It is not really productive as yet. So I would ask you for proposals. What would you like us to do in order that EduProf can flourish more? Thank you.
Marta?
Marta, Vice President of European Affairs. This was all discussed on the live EduProf meeting, and the proposal came from the members was actually to release a form so that you guys could give us feedback on also the future of EduProf. How do you feel? How do you feel we can improve? So this is something that I will work on. I will provide you. I've done a lot of questions on the presentation. That presentation will be sent to you with the minutes. And on those questions, I will do a survey in which every member can reply to those questions. The questions were mainly on the future of EduProf. What do you feel you can get involved more? So that also there is this action point, there is this working segment in which we have as executive to evaluate the future of the platform. So I will release that survey to collect your feedback.
Do we have any direct? If not, I will take APEL Portugal for the new.
Marta of Portugal. Marta, we want to congratulate you on your work regarding the position papers, because it's refreshing to finally see so much results and so much work done and updates regarding the subject since the beginning of your mandate. We feel that you already achieved a lot of stuff.
Okay, next I have VFSO Belgium.
Doreen, VFSO Belgium. In your report was stated that you did not manage to implement some of your plans or projects because of a high workload. Do you think you can delegate some more tasks or projects to the Policy Affairs Coordinator?
Marta?
So yes, in regards to my workload, I have to admit that my workload is also due to some personal constraints. because my studies were supposed to be finished on the 3rd of October, but due to a issue in my university, they had to be postponed to the 26th of November. So I'm having extra workload with that I was not planned to. In regards to delegating my tasks, as you might be aware, at the moment, those tasks are delegated in regards to all the technicalities of the policy document. So I'm providing my feedback, my orientation, but I'm already delegating those tasks because that's already the portfolio of the Policy Affairs Coordinator. In regards to my tasks, they are more concentrated in Brussels at the moment, so attending events, also my workload at my internship, and also my main focus was defining the annual reception to make sure that it will happen, because this is a special year, we will have European elections, so this was my main focus. So I really have to admit that that workload was not due to EPSA from the moment I got into Brussels until now. That was to a personal constraint.
Do I have any direct? If not, next I have AFEP Austria.
Rian, AFEP Austria, in your report, sorry, you said you plan on having individual EduProf platform meetings. What do you hope to achieve with that? And we are a lot of people.
Marta?
So yes, that was also mentioned during the live EduProf meeting. Those are to be scheduled, just like from the second live EduProf meeting. I suggested 2 possible weeks, which would be the second last week of November and the last week of November. I will release you a doodle, and from those week on, I will also release a spreadsheet with the countries that I'm planning. But when I mean individual meetings, I mean that I will divide you in groups of 2, 3, so that you have more space, okay? And then, if by any means some of you change mandates or somebody needs to have another meeting, then you contact me personally and you can have it. Those meetings are done to be scheduled as soon as, because as I told you, the 26th November is my deadline to be finished with my studies. So on the week of the second live online EduProf meeting, I'm planning to already start scheduling those meetings. They will happen with a frequency of like 1, 2 per week. So in every week, I will have 2 slots of my time to join 2 or 3 of you, and then they will continue along the mandate. Also, something that it was pointed out already in the first EduProf meeting online and also on the live EduProf meeting is to take care into consideration your mandates changings. So that's why I'm still collecting your information. And please let me tell you, if you have any questions on the survey that I sent you, if you forget if you filled it in, or if somebody changed, or if you're an LS and you believe that you should not fill it in again, please do fill in the survey 2, 3 times, so that I know when your mandates change and plan that accordingly, okay? If you have any remark on the date, I will send a spreadsheet with the planned dates. If you cannot on that day, email me and I will switch you to another week, okay? Thank you.
Do I have, yes, KNPSV?
Janine KNPSV in the Netherlands. Doesn't Anya have like a view of when mandates change? Because people get like new LSs. Maybe you could share it? Because now it takes time.
Yes, I don't know if we have any view on when DLSs change, but let's not forget that in different associations, DLS is not the EduProf representative. Some associations have more, they have 1 or 2 EduProf representatives, and in some of them it's a president or vice president or the policy affairs, so it's not just DLS. That's why I'm also asking to DLSs to fill in that survey again if they are EduProf representatives.
Next I have EFSO Belgium with the direct drop. Okay. Are there any more directs? If not, I will take a new point from South Bosnia.
Riyad, Saf, you mentioned like you're in contact with the ESN. So as a previous member of ESN, I'm curious, how do you plan on getting their support, or like what is the main contact point between you?
Okay, so I'm in contact with the president of ESN and with his policy affairs. This contact started on the last annual reception where the president was one of our speakers, and after that followed up an idea of having a joint position paper on obstacles and mobility, because they have a lot of data that they can promote this. After that, we had this idea of joining other associations. We are working on those because some associations are just planning to endorse it, others maybe in taking part, but the two of us are really working. But my main contact is the president of ESN, and basically we update each other by email. Also, he lives in Brussels, so we can schedule meetings easily in his office or in my office. So.
Do I have any direct? If not, I will take Upper Portugal.
Matilda of Portugal. So can you give us more information about your internship? Elaborate more what you are doing.
Marta?
So, Marta, Vice President of European Affairs, I'm forgetting to say this, I'm sorry. Yes, my internship, what I do mainly is, there is a professional affairs advisor that takes care more on the policy matters at PGU, meaning on what the community pharmacists are advocating for. I work closely with him. Basically, these days, I do a lot of monitoring. I know everything that's going on in Brussels, all the news. I forward it to the respective people in the office. I work also on collecting data from the members of PGU, on elaborating those documents. So that's pretty much what I do, which I find it quite beneficial because it also helps me a lot to understand the context of Brussels, the political, also how the organizations work, and also help me a lot to know who to invite for the annual reception, hot topics that are being in discussion in the annual reception. So it's pretty much this. Is this clear?
Any other directs on this? No, I have Ahmed, Austria, with New Point.
Via an AFIP Austria, in your last remarks you stated that many things got lost in the handover period, mostly contacts previously made that should be shared with the successor. My question is, how was your handover generally?
So my handover, my handover generally happened during the whole handover time. So from May to July, we have online meetings. We had a live meeting. I had a live meeting. It was alright, but I felt that things, like in terms of context on what's going on in Brussels, things are lost from mandate to mandate. You know, when some interns get in, it's very important to know which associations you are working with, who is defending what, who is against what. These very things are very important because we know with whom we are partnered with. So this kind of information sometimes gets lost, and I need to do a lot of background research. So yeah, this was basically a remark for improvement on perhaps a new spreadsheet with information, maybe a suggestion in the team meeting came out to have specific guidelines for an EPSA intern, but yeah, was this. Yeah.
Do I have direct? If not, I will take Anne France.
Pierre Annette France. As you told us, it's a very special year because of the European election. Do you have some plans to promote the election? Because we have to remind that it's very important to vote, and I think that as a European association, we have something to do. Maybe study the election programs or things like this. I don't know. Do you have any plans or ideas?
Okay, so far I don't believe that this is the way to go, but this is something that can be discussed within the executive. We never approached this, but yes. Eva?
Eva, President. So yes, this was never discussed, but EPSA is a non-political organization, so we will not get involved in that. I can already tell you.
Direct, Annette France.
Pierre Annette France. I know that it's unpolitical association, but I don't ask for election a way to EPSA says you should vote for them. No. just maybe we could put pick the ideas that are in the programs about pharmacy, about health, about students' life, and study it as students, European Students Association.
Direct PhD Germany.
Konstantin, PhD Germany. I really want to support what Jean-Pierre-Marie had just said. Even though we are non-political, it doesn't mean that we are not maybe educative, because I believe that EduProf is a nice platform to really share information. Okay, what are the positions of the different parties who take place or take part in the elections? What do they propose, so that we can really inform our students and yeah, make them think of the elections and really raise awareness about it. I think this is not like a political engagement, but more of an educational, informative action. And I would really support to do this.
Do I have any direct? Eva?
Eva, President, yes, this is something that I would have to discuss with the rest of the executive, but personally, this is my personal opinion, sharing stuff, like you mentioned, is already involved politically, being involved politically, because you are saying what different people are saying and advising people on it. So I don't think EPSA should get involved in it, but if you want us to discuss it within the executive, we can.
Do I have any direct? If not, I will take a new point from PhD Germany.
Yes, thank you, Konstantin, PhD Germany. I want to go back to this last paragraph of your report. You state, quote, contacts previously made that should be shared with the successor for the future use of the association, instead of being kept by the person in charge for personal use. I guess you are aware that this is a strong accusation towards your predecessor. We have talked, like, since the predecessor is Dorothea Dalek, who is now more than before again a member of BPhD. I felt obliged to really investigate into this topic. I have talked to you, I have talked to Dorothea, and obviously she's not happy about that you wrote it. And I can really understand why, because actually you say this is a general problem, and you investigated on it and think that this is a general problem, that the handover is not as good as it can be, and I can really understand that you want to improve on that. But still, I'm a bit confused, because obviously you are the only one who have these problems, and the other members seem not to have problems with the handover in that way, that they didn't get the contact. Then again, you said you want to address the problems openly, and you don't like to pretend anything, that everything is good. You said that to me in our private discussion, and I think you're really right about this, that we should address things that are not going wrong. But I really don't feel like this is the good way to do it. We should not forget that if these reports are accepted at the moment, these, let's say, accusations towards your predecessor will be archived and will be stored like that forever. And I don't really feel that this is a good thing, because for me it looks like you are stating that Doro was deliberately refraining from giving you the contacts in order that she could use it. She obviously says that the handover wasn't like that, that you were not as approachable as you might have been. So I cannot judge what really was going on. I don't know the facts, but since you wrote something like that, and it looks to me that this is an accusation you cannot prove, I would really like the report to be changed in that way, that this accusation is not there anymore, because I don't feel that things like that should be kept over. So I would propose to reject this report in order that you can change it again, and then we can accept that in a improved way. Thank you.
Marta?
So I don't read it as an accusation. When you're in Brussels, a lot of the contacts that you made are like people that also you get attached, become your friends. So I was not deliberately stating that the person did not give them to me and kept them to themselves. What I said is that even small things, like this person that you get along with, that small information should be passed. This is not an accusation. So yes, this is what I mean. Even small informations that you may believe that are not important, like this person that I met and said this or that, they can be important for the successor to understand context. There's these gaps. About other people, I can talk for them. About me, you need to be aware that I need to know a lot of the political context that's going on. Who is lobbying for what? Who is saying what? Because we also as EPSA need to be careful with whom to partner with, what to say. So this is what I meant.
Directly PhD Germany.
Yes, I feel like I need to
hit the button.
It's okay. It's okay. Okay. We have a new one.
Give it
Battery.
to if I
Why? Give it to me.
give it to me.
The battery. What is the battery?
Give it to me.
Oh wait, there it is. No, it's empty. I have a new one here.
Sorry for the technicalities.
Can I see this? Put it here inside. No, just speak because it will take some time. Wait. This is not closed. Can we move on because it will take some time?
can you speak loud?
Because it will take some time.
Yes, BPHD Germany, Konstantin. I have the feeling that I need to clarify on that. I really value that you try to improve things there and that you're saying openly what is going wrong. But I feel like putting it in this report is not the right way to do it. You should address it internally first. You can discuss it. You can say, okay, internally, what's going on, what can be improved. You can, for yourself, as you are the next person to do a handover, really think of, okay, am I going to improve on that? There are many possibilities on how to improve, and I am very happy that you're taking steps towards it. Still, putting it in this report in the way you have written it is, in my opinion, not a good thing, since, as we have seen, it can be misunderstood, and it will be misunderstood. And that leaves a bad imprint on a person who has otherwise did a very good job. It's not about that we want to attack you in any way. As I said, we are really happy about the work and that you are trying to improve one or two things. Still, we should really think of what is going to be archived and how will people understand these reports when they cannot talk to you about it, and in order that you can explain it personally. So I still say this report should be changed in a way that it cannot be misunderstood in any way anymore.
Does that one work?
Next, I have EPSA Poland.
Where is the other one?
Susanna, EPSA Poland. I have a direct to Marta, because you told us that Dorothea kept some information that you missed, and I have a question if you asked for this information. If you missed something, I think you should ask, because I also understood it in the way Konstantin did.
Marta?
So yes, when it regards to first, doesn't mean that the report will be misunderstood. It can be by some people. Yes, I've asked some information. I've always, since I'm working with the former Vice President of European Affairs before Dorothea, I've always liked the access to information with him. So at the moment he's also providing me information that I need. when I have questions, I ask. There were situations on my email and invitations that appeared that I was like, what is this? And I asked, but yeah, I was just trying to make an improvement. I don't believe it can be misunderstood clearly because of what we see here. Some people did misunderstood. Otherwise, I don't think it will be misunderstood. It is a possibility that I did not consider at the moment when writing it. Otherwise, yeah, probably I would have written in a different way. But yeah.
Technical Laura.
Yeah, Marta, you can speak through the microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's working.
Okay, next on direct I have Atte, and then I will have EPSA. Microphone is not working, so you need to speak up louder.
Okay, Marta, of course, we actually disagree, and we feel that this information about the enrollment period should be clearly stated on the sorry. Marta, of Portugal, we actually disagree, and we feel that this information about the handover period should be clearly stated in your report, because a good handover period is crucial for you to do your job properly. So we think in order to have transparency and honesty, it should be kept.
Next, clarification, BPSA UK. Point of information.
Anna, repeat the question as well, please.
Yes, we'll do it.
Come here.
Don't kick me out.
Okay, and as a parliamentarian, TORS Article 5.3.7 says, in the event of non-approval of a report, the General Assembly shall decide on appropriate amendments to the report in order to render it acceptable, and shall vote again on the amended report until such time as the final report is approved.
Clarification, BPSA UK.
Speak.
Okay, so let's say like it happens, we amend it, so we still approve it with PA or
Anna?
And a parliamentarian, it can be approved at the next GA. Or this.
Eva?
It has to be done.
This is much time.
Then it can be this one.
Or it can be in this one as well.
Okay, now getting back to Susanna, BPSA.
Susanna, PPSA Poland. I need more clarification because they asked also a question. If you asked about the information you missed, so to clarify, did you receive this information you asked for?
Marta?
When I had questions, I received back the information, yes. But also in a lot of things, for example, if I'm in an event, oh, this person you that and said this and you once said this, like I can't be asking information every day, but when I had major questions, I did receive the information, yes.
Next direct is the VFSO Belgium.
During VFSO Belgium, both of us, we read the report independently, and we also interpreted it the way that was stated by Germany and Poland. So I think I had no background. I think if someone will read this report without background, as I did, they will also interpret it this way. So if that's not the way you meant it, I think it should be adapted.
I have a KNPSV on the speaking.
Just never touch, never touch.
I have a question.
Yeah, me now, just don't mute it. Don't mute it.
See, if you have maybe like the ideal handover, how would it be? Like, would you imagine, because you can't
like share every single conversation you ever had, I think, in a handover? What would be the handover that you expected? What your ideal handover should it be?
Marta?
So at this moment we have something called GDPR. So what I suggest is every time you get a business card, you send an opt-in to the person. That's very important so that you can keep the contact. Number two, you can create a spreadsheet, and also with like that contact you change, saying this was during this event or in that event. That can be kept so that we know who, also for that the person targets more or less who is where in the events. And something else that I was meaning in this report that I cited, for example, some associations that you just, when you get there, you have no idea who they are, if they are like reliable or not. So when you get that information, then you say, association this works on this, yeah, good to partner with. They work in this specific statement of opinion, so this could be good. They did this event. So I'm like, this was a suggestion that also appeared on the team meeting to have a like handover for Brussels people, and I'm very keen of that suggestion. And attached to that, you can actually have that spreadsheet with all that specific information.
Direct BPHD Germany.
Constantine, PhD Germany. I think we're not at the right point here because yes, there are things to improve at the handover, obviously. You have good ideas what to improve, and I'm happy about this. What I don't, well, the problem for me is that the report can be read in a way that suggests that your predecessor actively kept information from you in order to have her own reward, to keep it for personal use. And I think this is something, maybe you didn't want to say it, but it can be read in a way, and obviously people have read it in this way. So that is why I urge you, or I urge the GA to reject the report, and I urge you to rewrite it in order so it cannot be misunderstood anymore.
Marta?
As I have obviously stated here, I did not write a report stating or accusing anybody. If so, as you can see, if I wrote a report and I don't believe that is accusing anybody, and you believe that the word should be changing, I don't know. I see different opinions here. Some people read it in a way, other people read it in the other way. I have nothing else to say here. That is up to the General Assembly vote.
Do I have any more direct? If not, I will take a new point from AFEP Austria.
Rian AFEP Austria. Sorry. AFEP agrees that it should be stated how the handover went, but not in such a way, but we've already discussed this. What we are interested about is, Eva stated yesterday or the day before that she could follow the handovers of everyone, so I'm curious why you didn't just say something immediately when you felt like things were not being handed over correctly.
Marta?
Yes, I've said it sometimes. I don't have this information, I don't have that information, I will look for background. So, yeah. And then, when the time comes to write a report and compile all the information along the weeks, I write the report.
Do I have any more direct on this? If not, I will take BPSA UK with new point.
Sally, BPSA UK. Sorry if this is meant to be direct, but I thought new point is safer. Magda, because I guess you showed the reports to the team first, and then, so I guess they gave you feedback, and then now we're giving you feedback. Do you feel like if you could go back, would you change it? Because it's getting very heated, and how do you feel? Do you still stand by this wording?
Marta?
Once again, I believe that there is nothing wrong with this wording. I believe that I wrote it properly, I reviewed it. This was discussed on a team meeting. So at the moment, if the General Assembly does not like the wording, then it's up to you. Otherwise, if I didn't like the report that I've written, I could have amended it. There is always the possibility of amending reports and sending it again to the GA package. But since I believe that it's properly written and I don't misunderstand it as accusing somebody, because if I would not have written that on first instance. Yes, I stand for my report. I'm confident with my report. It has everything stated, all my work, all the critics that I have to my own work, and as well the critics that I have to the handover. Also, the handover was covered in the plan of action, also in the last report of my predecessor, so you can go back for information on that. The handover is not just listed here. So yes, with the evolution, I stand for my report, but now the General Assembly has to decide.
Direct BPSA UK.
Sally, BPSA UK. If you do feel that way, would anyone think that if it was to change, wouldn't it be a bit like censorship and kind of a bit, like what? It's like you're trying to make the reports look pretty, essentially. I don't know.
Direct BPHD Germany.
Konstantin, BPHD Germany, thank you that you addressed that openly. I do understand why you come to that point. Still, it's not about censorship, it's about getting the facts right. And since it cannot be proven that Dorothea Dali actively kept information from you in order to use it for her own purpose, this is not about censorship, this is about not accusing somebody falsely or without proof.
Marta?
Excuse me, but I don't have stated in my report that a person actively kept the contacts from me.
You did?
No. It's not stating this person actively kept or hid contacts from me.
Guys, technical, please use hand signals, and I have BPSA Poland with direct. Just wait for my...
Susanna, BPSA Poland. So maybe to sum up, yes, I'm sure we all agree on the point that the reports should be honest, but in here you state that she is keeping blah blah blah, being kept by the person in charge for personal use. So you stated in the report, and is it a fact? So I would recommend to change it. It is. Oh God. Okay, contacts previously made that should be shared with the successor for the future use of the association instead of being kept by the person in charge for personal use. It means that you are accusing Dorothea for keeping contacts for personal use. And I think it cannot be understood in a different way if you don't have the background. And also, when I asked you if you asked for the information, you told us that you received the information you asked for. So I don't get this sentence in here.
Marta?
It's not stated that the person actively kept the contacts for personal use, and as I've said here and clarified, but I can clarify it once again, when you're in Brussels, you also make friends, you also get contacts, so you can contact the person that you met before, go to events. So I've heard about this event, so that's also can be considered personal use. If you keep a collection of business cards in your trash or in your shell, it's personal use. Everything that is not passing to the successor, but stating that this is an accusation and it's the only way of being interpreted, I think it's incorrect as well, because I don't interpret it like that. I don't know. Clearly other people here also are not. Some people are interpreting like this, others are not. But I don't really agree with the statement of this is the only way to interpret a fact, and also the word actively is not written in there, because then I will be accusing somebody which I am not.
Do I have any more? Yes, KMPSV, the Netherlands.
Imke KMP's for the Netherlands. You're saying that you don't want to accuse people, and I think that's a good thing, but like people here are saying that they can interpret it like wrong, so what's the point of not changing it? Because I think just change it and then we will accept your report if you just say it in other words, because there are people who misunderstood it and like...
Okay, I have Mupsa Turkey, then I will take Abba.
Zafer Mupsa Turkey, I believe she just said that GA, if they want, we can change it, so it's no problem for her. But I'm not in for that because like there's no humiliation or something like that, and it's like in that case it wouldn't be accepted by the executive in previous days, and like it's just censoring. It's nothing else, I guess.
Next, I have Annette Fons. Just point of information from Eva.
Eva, President, if I understood correctly, you said that the exec accepted this report. I just want to point out that the executive is not accepting any reports. We just discussed them at the team meeting, and that's all we do.
Pierre, Annette France. So maybe the words are hard, but the report's still honest. Maybe you are disappointed about the endeavor you had. You lost the information, but you do a very great job every time. So that's why Annette supports this report.
Marta?
Okay, as I've stated, I don't think I should repeat it again, but I can say it's up to the General Assembly. If I've written a report that I believe it's correct, I should state from my report. Otherwise, I would not write it if I believed it was incorrect. But I'm comfortable with the voting of the General Assembly because this is a democratic association. So it's up to the members, not me. I believe that I fulfilled my responsibility to the members to report what I believe it should be reported. So now it's up to your vote.
I have Asep, Switzerland. Drop. Okay. Do I have any more directs or comments? I see none. Eva?
Eva, President, yes, then I will proceed to the feedback for Marta. So you are leading a newly established department with 2 new coordinators added. I believe you've been doing a good job. You've been keeping the executive in the loop. You've been working hard. There's a mobility survey out now. And yes, I would just like to thank you for the work done so far. And we're all looking forward to the next part of the mandate with you.
Thank you, Marta. Okay, we will proceed with the coordinators. Next is Grant Coordinator Kevin, so I would kindly like to ask Kevin to come here and state his updates.
Hello everyone, Kevin, Grant Coordinator. Since my report, I have only one update. I contacted the agency for our civil society cooperation grant for information about the release of the call, and they informed me that it will be this week.
Thank you, Kevin. Do we have new coin? Yes, KMPSB.
Janine, KMP's for the Netherlands. I have a question about part of the Erasmus grant concerning the that events have to be events have to be in countries that, how do you say it? That some member associations don't need to collect it. They need to, for applying it, that they need to be in the EU. How are you going to manage it and solve it? Because this event isn't as well, and we do, of course, want to demotivate these countries to, these member associations to organize an event, but we should look into it, like, how can we take care of it, like make sure we get the money.
Direct from Eva.
Eva, President. So yes, this was also discussed by the executive. There are different ways to tackle these issues. For example, organizing the team meeting in a different country that's near the country that's not accepted by the grant, or organizing a live executive meeting that's also a statutory meeting, and yes, other solutions like that. So even if we go to a country that's not accepted by the grant, we're confident that we can find a solution and not lose too much money with it.
Do I have any more direct comments, feedback? Marta?
Yeah, can everyone hear me?
No, we have a microphone.
Nice. Kevin, it's just, I think it was really nice to like have some the Google AdWords grant coming in, and it's good to see that you're on top of everything. The next months will be busy, but I'm pretty sure that it will be very manageable. So keep up with the good work.
Thank you, Kevin. Next coordinator is Policy Affairs Coordinator, so Dylan, please come and state your updates.
Hello. So after the report, I was keeping up with the promotion on mobility survey. I was spoken LSS, EPSA team. I was promoting myself. Then after that, yeah, I was a lot in contact with PR department, which did great. Yeah, then afterwards, I was focusing on fact sheets, also on mobility. Those had lots of feedbacks from the team. Lots of team members were included. All those that have any valid input that could be included, yeah, in it. So I reviewed that and made the forms and documents, which I will also present a bit later on. And yeah, I sent it out to you on Friday.
Thank you, Dylan, for updates. I have ASAP Austria.
Rian Afet. Hello.
Okay. Sorry for technical issues. Yes, AFEP Austria, please.
Rian Afet Austria. I know this position is very new and you have like a lot of stuff going on with the whole vice president of European Affairs department, but I'm curious if you already started thinking just a bit about maybe guidelines for the policy coordinator. Thank you.
Direct, Dylan.
I didn't actively think about it, but I'm writing down like things that I noticed throughout the mandate so far. And yeah, of course, guidelines should be good. I don't think they're gonna be super extensive, but I think there's gonna be at least something to keep it written also.
APEF Portugal with New Point.
Martin, APEF Portugal. Thank you, Thielen, for your report and the updates. I was wondering why didn't you share the mobility survey with the EduProf representatives for the divulgation, because not only the ALS are EduProf representatives, some other associations the ALS is not. So it's the case of APEF Portugal. And why didn't you ask for feedback previously for the divulgation of the survey, because we could provide inputs about the questions and the structure itself. Thank you.
Dylan?
Okay, thank you for your question. I agree. Actually, we didn't think of it. That's the first thing. First, the timeline. Okay, this was supposed to be launched in late August, but we were waiting for other associations to join us from ESA's group. That was the first problem. As you can also see, the survey itself is very, very short, which is also the point, because we have seen lots of problems with longer surveys that had like very little involvement, and analysis was horrible and so on. So yeah, as you can see, the survey itself is not very extensive, and honestly, I don't think there would be much of your feedback from your side. But I do agree from the transparent point of view, and yeah, maybe there would be something. But honestly, timeline-wise, it did work out.
Up Portugal.
It's just because we do that all the time. We do survey as well for position papers in our association, and we could provide some feedback regarding the questions or to add something that we could find relevant. And I think that could be one of the points for the EduProf platform, to engage more the representatives, because we could be more actively in those situations and provide feedback.
Yeah, I agree with it. I honestly do not. I'm not the leading part of the EduProf platform. It's Marta's thing. So yeah, but I will keep it down, and it will definitely go into the guidelines that will be written.
Do I have any more directs? If not, Dylan, you can have your new point.
So yeah, I would like to present the thing that I already presented at EduProf live meeting, and it is about intermediate results of the survey. So first of all, by 26th of October we had 268 responses from 28 countries. 7 of those with more than 10 responses, 16 of those with more than 5 responses, and less than 5 responses are these countries here. This is not a public shaming, it's just maybe as a reminder that you can actually get involved. It can be motivation. And actually 9 countries with 0 responses, which is very sad. Then, next slide. Yeah, this is just the graphics. We got the most responses by then from Slovenia, Portugal, and France. And then the next is graph, which also this proves that there's still a lot of room for improvement, because just few countries got almost 2/3 of the answers. So yeah, please engage. Thank you. Then from the questions, one of the questions was how many students that answered to the survey attended Erasmus themselves, and we can see that around 20% of people said that they did, which is very low. Then the next slide is the question about if those that did the survey know somebody that attended Erasmus. Here we can see that we have around 60% people saying that they know somebody. However, there are still around 40% of people that don't know anybody, which I think is also very speaking for itself, because those people are not even in contact with anybody or in personal contact, and they cannot ask about, okay, how was it, how many obstacles did you have, and this also proves that there really is an obstacle in mobility. Pharmaceutical students. The next one is, would you say if it's harder for pharmaceutical students to take part in Erasmus Plus exchanges compared to other studies? We can see that more than 2/3 people said that yes. Next one. Another question is, would you like to have more support in taking part in Erasmus exchanges? Here we can see more than 90% people say yes. And another one. And this is, okay, I was asked at the prof meeting if I will update the data. I couldn't update all of it because the graphs actually take quite a long time. But I did update the countries. So Slovenia, Belgium, and Portugal got the most of those.
Technical.
Maybe get up closer, zoom. Or maybe just color it white, I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
Work? Yeah.
Is it working?
It looked good on the computer.
Yeah, it's the bigger.
bullshit.
Now we have like 14 people this summer that can really get out of the shade.
So in the last from
Oh, technical asset Switzerland.
I'm sorry, but yesterday you said there would be a projection on this side of the hall, and I'm kind of blind, so I can't see anything from the PowerPoint. So I don't know if there's going to be something on this wall as well.
Laura?
Laura, IT coordinator. As soon as we have a session finished that needs a beamer, we will split the projection into two, so then everyone has better visuals. If the visual really sucks, then you could watch the live stream.
I can also share this with you over email if you want. Yeah, it's intermediate, but I can, yeah. In the last, from the 26th of October until now, we got lots of responses from Belgium and Denmark, so thank you to those two. And yeah, you can see for yourself, please do engage. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement. Right now we're almost at 400 responses, and we said we would like to have at least 500, so yeah, still some work to do. Next one. Yeah, this is the very nice design that our design coordinator made, and yeah, here are some tips where you can share it between your friends, schoolmates, associations boards, over social media. You can like the posts. You can go to people here and ask them, okay, did you do it? I did it, and so on. And the next thing is mobility fact sheet. This is a bit of an update. Yeah, we can go to the next one. And this is the link that I provided you in the email. So the mobility position paper will include mostly the quantitative data that we'll collect from the survey, but we would also like to include the qualitative data from mobility fact sheets that you will provide the info, how exactly it is done in your associations from your universities. So maybe open the blue one and
which one?
The second document. No, the second. No. Yeah. So go to the form first. So this is the form. I put the fact sheets into three parts. So first part is mobility during studies. One part is mobility for writing thesis, and one part is for mobility for doing obligatory practice. Everything is Erasmus connected. You can also provide info about other exchanges if you have. And each part will also have, so those are three different forms and three different documents, but each different, each different form will also be consisted of two sub-points. One point is, if you go up, one point is how it is with domestic students going abroad, so like your students going abroad and their opportunities, and how it is with incoming exchange students coming to your association, your university to study. Every single answer is obligatory. That is why I also created the document, and I'll ask you to show it. In this document, I actually collected every single question there is, and I put every single description and possible answer there is, if it's not an open question. So you have this summary of questions and what we are asking of you, and you can print it out or use it online, and you will see like, okay, I don't know this question that well, I know who to ask, or I know that somebody knows it, and you will note it down. Some of them maybe you know, and you will answer immediately. You can do it on paper or online, as you wish. But the point of this document that you don't actually go to the form before you actually have as much as information as possible, because we want this mobility fact sheet to be as specific and as full as possible, because we would like to use it for the next years in order to see the development of mobility service, and also for you to see how it is done in other countries. Is it more accessible, is it less accessible, and so on. It's very specific, but the more info you provide, the more you will help us, and the more you will help actually each other. That's kind of good.
Do I have directs on this? If not, KNPSB has a new point.
Janine, KNPSB for the Netherlands. I was wondering, we have working statement 12, and I want to ask you now, how do you think the change will implement your job? Like, will it make it easier for you, your function?
You mean the statement of opinion thing? Okay. Yes, I mean, I think it will, because right now we cannot actually, if I'm correct, right now we cannot like write and conduct and actually send the statement of opinion. We have to wait until General Assembly. Yes, so far.
Point of information, Eva?
Eva, President, so yes, at the moment, if we want to release a policy paper, so a statement of opinion, we need a vote by the GA or an online LS meeting. Online LS meeting is also fine.
Any direct?
Yes. Yes, I think it will. It will actually raise the association's voice, and yeah, we can be more reactive and actually be present and updated with stuff. I think it's only for the best.
If there are none, AFEP Austria with new points. Okay, BPSA UK.
Sally, BPSA UK. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, so let me know if this is wrong, but I just want to say that, Dylan, I feel blessed that you're my buddy, and you have made it so much easier for me to be in LS, and I just love being here, and I love you, so thank you.
That is adorable.
Do I have any more comments or directs? Feedback? Marta?
Marta, Vice President of European Affairs. Yes, Dylan, it was really nice to finally have the fact sheets released, something that our members can really reply and we can collect information, as well as the survey. Just as Kevin, the next months will be hard. We have an e-house position paper to finish and to release. So yeah, but I think that once again we can manage that. And yeah, keep up.
Just one more last thing. Whenever you will feel that you don't know enough about the fact sheets, because they're very, very extensive, just approach me, write me an email or anything. And yeah, once again, to the mobility survey.
Thank you, Kevin. We will proceed with the... Dylan, sorry. Yeah. So we will proceed with audit committee report, and I would kindly ask to Josephine if she can come and present the report. Oh, update.
Love the shirt.
Yes, thanks.
Josephine, audit committee member. So since Mia and I filed our report, we have been staying up to date with the changes that were made in the financial documents for the autumn assembly. So I checked with Chris that everything was fine, so that even the last changes would be okay. That's basically it.
Thank you, Josephine. Do I have any comments, questions? Eva?
Eva, President, so then it's feedback time. I think we all trust you completely with the financial documents. Chris and the Parliamentary Council have been saying only positive words about you and the help you're giving them with the financial documents to make sure everything's all right. So we have complete faith with you going forward, and I would just like to thank you for being present here, even though you're a neutral body.
I have a Chris.
Chris.
You have a Chris?
Chris Treasure. So I would also like to add that communication between us have been great so far. I'm really happy with that. It's great to have you as audit, and I'm happy that nothing major came up so far. So, no, but thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anything more? If not, thank you, Josephine. And technical, Eva.
Yes, Eva President. So again, we've come through the agenda for today. I would ask you if it's okay to take Bernardo's report now, because Bernardo is here. Oh yeah, and there's still a motion for the audit committee. But yes, after that we will go to the training coordinator.
So, we will vote on the motion. So I will read the motion. The 56th EPSA General Assembly accept the Audit Committee Autumn Assembly Report 2018-2019. I open the floor for discussion on this motion. I close the floor for discussion on this motion. We will proceed to the voting. Anybody against, please raise your voting cards up high. Any abstentions? The motion was carried unanimously. So now, as Eva stated, we will now take Bernardo's report. So Bernardo, please come and state your update.
So hello everyone, can you hear me properly? Yeah? Okay. So bear with me a little bit because everything happened afterwards, after I wrote my report. So I have a lot to update you on. So I managed to meet with the trainers board once again, and we discussed the feedback for the summer university, which was sent to the trainers now. So we will receive it shortly, and we will be able to share it with you as well. I updated them on the autumn assembly that is happening now, so that they also know what's going on, because none of them managed to attend the event itself. And I presented the applications for the TNT. So we only got one application for the TNT, which was from IPF Portugal, and it was accepted, but I will cover it after the trainers board meeting. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
My mistake, sorry. So we also, one of the things that we also discussed was the gathering of ideas for the training week, because we do want to improve this event, which was something that we think it failed a bit last Monday. So we thought about starting the promotion a lot sooner, and also sending the challenges not only for trainers but for LSs as well a lot sooner, so that we also have an idea of how this is going to happen. And not only this, but also try to define a week in the year that will always be the training weeks, so that we define this date and everyone can count on it. And we might even have the influence to turn this week, this week that we choose, into the training week for everyone in Europe or maybe the world itself, because I don't think that there's a training week whatsoever. For the 13th TNT, I apologize, it was IFF well, and the only ones who sent in the application. I would ask you to not be afraid of the TNT itself. It's an event it's pretty simple to organize, and we can help you. We discussed the fees during the team meeting, and we will be a bit more flexible on those. So if you are interested, just poke me and we can discuss the possibility of organizing the TNT. I will also start poking you a lot sooner, so that we can also prepare this and maybe get some sponsors, which might be easier for you to also organize. And yeah, the open call is open. I do suggest that you go through it again and that you share it with your students. It will be open until the 8th of November, so pretty close, 1 week left, and it will happen on the beginning of December. So you have all the information there. I don't think that I need to repeat that. For this TNT, we'll also have 2 slots for Aegean students, as it was agreed with the Aegeans. They also have 2 spots for our students in their TNT, which should be happen soon. Yeah, sorry on this. So in regards to trainers on tour, I have started to contact several LSs to see if it's possible to host this event. As suggested to Armenia, we were thinking about the southeastern part of Europe to have one, but yeah, we will still have to see with the countries that are interested, and in the northwestern part of Europe as well. If you are interested in receiving our trainers, do contact me. Like, this is the plan that I make, but I can alter it depending on your availability to host them. This is also just a simple event that you can just receive our trainers, and they present EPSA, they present the training project, and they deliver soft skills, and it's a pretty good event to start raising awareness for EPSA and for the training project itself. So one last thing on the event of train the trainers. So we were thinking about contacting Visuality. I didn't contact them yet because I was still waiting for the dates of the annual reception, as it is a lot easier for people from the team, for example, to attend the TTT if this event happens before the annual reception itself. And yeah, hopefully it will be around the 3rd or 4th week of February, but we will see. In regards to the YNGO training network, so for those of you who are not aware of this, we are within this training network in order to be closer to all of the training projects throughout Europe and the world, and we are sharing good practices, sharing information, and we are working on trying to check if their TNTs are also as good as ours, or if they have similar preferences on organizing them, so that we can accept trainers that we send there. So, for example, if we send participants to IGEA, we will accept these participants as EPSA trainers, not, then let me clarify this, not the Aegean students, but the pharmaceutical students who go to these TNTs. So in a way, we would have a lot more opportunities for our students to become trainers. And yeah, this is happening with Zero Generation, where we also will have a trainer now. So this is it for the YNGO training network for now. So should I update you on my buddy project? Yeah, I've been trying to, but unfortunately I didn't manage to take care of the training of the buddy project. But the last day was I was in contact with the VPIA, and we organized the last day, which I do believe it was very productive. And I spoke with Marta as well. So in regards to the position paper on the soft skills and the implementation of soft skills in our curricula, we are defining a plan on how we are going to approach this matter. And yeah, I really want to do this mandate, and it will be done. And this is like an action point for me. I don't have any more updates on my report, so.
Thank you, Bernardo. Do I have any comments? Yes, I have up in Portugal.
Of Portugal. I want to thank you again regarding the collaboration with us with APF training project, and we really had good feedback from our participants. So I hope we will continue this collaboration for the future.
Okay, next I have EPSA, Poland.
Susanna, EPSA Poland. Thank you for the report. And I have a question maybe from an IPSF trainer side. Did you think about contacting IPSF trainings coordinator about the trainings during EPSA events? Because as far as I know, we have one spot for IPSF trainer on each event, but we don't have any information about deadlines and so on, which we should keep, and to just contact you if in case some of IPSF trainers attending the EPSA event would like to also deliver trainings. You know what one?
Bernardo?
Yeah, so I will start to send them an email saying that they have an open spot. I forgot about this, like I wasn't exactly aware, but I will try to send them an email like the same thing we send to our trainers and saying that they have one spot. Yeah.
Point of information, Dylan? Oh, Vojta.
Mates VPR, we don't actually have an agreement with IPSF that we should provide them a spot for IPSF trainer on our events. It's not in our memorandum of understanding, if I understood your question correctly.
Susanna?
Susanna, PPSA Poland. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I thought it is in memorandum. Yeah, it's something like we should provide one place. It is. Just I think it is.
Nate?
Nate's VPR, yeah, okay, you were right. We checked it, it is in MOU, sorry.
Eva, President, yes, I think the confusion is that neither of the associations has been doing this in the past 2 mandates, but yes, we will contact IPSF and start this discussion again.
Bernardo?
Okay, so now that we as EPSA and IPSF are both in the YNGO training network, I will try to get a closer contact to them and try to check their project a bit better. And since it is in the MOU, I will also share the call with them for the next events that we have.
Okay, next I have sorry, after Austria.
Here in APEP Austria. Oh, sorry. I'm curious about the TNT, like how flexible is the budget? Because I tried to organize a TNT and it was just not feasible with the amount of money, even after you heightened the amount of money, because everything was very expensive. And it is hard to get sponsorship because it is such a small event that no one will be like, okay, yeah, sure, we will give you money for this. They maybe give us like post-its, but we need 3,000, I think, and they won't give us 3,000 post-its. And everything counted together is also really expensive, like the flip charts, the pens, the food. Like if we would have provided food, it would have been like spaghetti every day for 10 days. That would have been the only thing that would have been kind of okay. And I was curious if you thought about the fact, because I think you stated that you would like to have like a TNT in, I think Norway was it, or Sweden or something like that. These countries are very expensive altogether, so 150 or I think it was 220 in the end. It's a very tight budget, especially when you have to take away the trainers that are free, kind of.
Bernardo?
Yeah, we discussed this thing about the fee. That's why I said that now it will be a bit more case-to-case scenario. So in case you would be interested in organizing the TNT, we would discuss how much it would be necessary for you to organize it. So in a way, we are a bit free to use whatever the amount of fee that we see fit. We just had the limitations because normally it's not that appealing to go to an event and pay 500 euros or something. I do understand that it's really, really difficult to organize these events in money-wise. What I meant as it is easy is logistic-wise. So you just need barely 4 or 5 people to organize these events, and that the only concern is actually the money itself. That's why.
Direct?
Here in AFIP Austria, I hope this is a direct. Maybe because EPSA has like the support fund, could there be like a TNT support fund as well? If the training would be too expensive, that maybe EPSA would also provide
money to the organizers of the TNT, or if the fee is too expensive, that people could apply for, what's the word? When you, no, the word for when you get money to go somewhere. A fund. Thank you. Yes.
Eva?
Eva, President. So yes, if you guys would like us to discuss it, we can of course discuss it. But yeah, you need to give us a clear statement that you would like us to discuss it, either now or in a motion or over email, and then we'll.
Direct, Chris.
Thank you. Like Eva said, we can discuss it, but something that is to consider here is that, yeah, we raise money for support funds through auctions, donations. The pot is only so big, you know. It's either this or coming to our congresses, so that's also something we should consider.
Bernardo?
So if it helps in any way, I am in contact with Kevin to see if we can possibly apply to some grants like we did in the past for when the Congress was in Norway. Still, this is quite difficult as described, and we need to have these plans a lot more in advance. So we cannot have the open call for the TNT open until like 1 month before the event itself, and I cannot keep postponing these calls. So in a way, we would have, if we wanted a grant for the next July or August, we would have to have a host now. So yeah, I can start sending these calls a lot sooner. Yeah, I think it might help. But do answer them, please.
Any direct? No? Then next is EPSA Croatia. Rob? Okay, and IFFL Portugal.
Margarida, IFFL Portugal. So Bernardo, thank you for your work so far, and we also want to say to all of you that we are really excited to host the next TNT in Lisbon. Bernardo, can you tell me just some specific measures that were taken to promote the training project to increase its visibility, other than the T-shirts that were other than the acquisition of the T-shirts? Thank you.
Bernardo?
Okay, so one of the good things that we had was, for example, the Congress in Barlow, we did visuality, and we shared that as part of the EPSA project and as a fruit of the EPSA project. And even speakers ended up sharing those recordings, and I think that gives us not only some visuality here, but also externally. And what else are we doing? We are posting some posts during especially the training week, for example, like it happened last year. I am not actually doing much more than it was done last mandates in regards to this point. If you would have some suggestions, I would really love to have them. Like nowadays it only goes for posts that trainings post when they deliver sessions and stuff like this, but I can try to have some ideas.
Okay, thank you. Next is APEF Portugal.
Matilda, APEF Portugal, I have a question for you regarding the TOTs. Have you already planned or thought about the time frame to hold them?
Bernardo?
Okay, so I was thinking about having one in February and one in May, but this will always depend on the possible host that we will have. This is just the idea that I have so far. And
yes, direct BP SA UK.
Sally, BPSA UK. Is it possible to have any later, after May?
Bernardo?
Yes. So if you are interested, just contact me. We will probably have to contact countries around yours and see when would be best for everyone. I am just willing to host these events. Yeah, as long as it's not during a congress, I think it's fine.
Any more comments, questions? BPSA UK?
Lauren, BPSA UK. I was just wondering, do you know how many numbers of people are interested in becoming a trainer, and would it be useful to go and do a training in that country?
Okay, so in my email I have around 8 people who contact me interested in a TNT. Still, I do hear a lot about people who attend congresses that they would really love to be trainers. I cannot give you an exact number because, yeah, they say that they are excited, but then they don't. It's like, when it shines, it shines. When it shines, you don't care about it. So, yeah, I would guess that we are having a lot more interest than ever before, because I've never had 7 emails on my accounts saying, yeah, I want to be a trainer. So.
Comments, questions, feedback? Diogo?
Diogo, Vice President of Education. I know, Bernardo, that the TNT at the end was not really ideal, but the good thing for that is that once we made that decision, everything was already prepared and everything went out super fast. Also, you started to think about the entire portfolio and how to improve it. It's your second mandate, and you are still improving and thinking about going forward and forward. We are having more open calls for trainings than ever in Europe, and that is the reflection of the work you are doing. So, congratulations on that.
Technical, Eva?
Eva, President, so with this we'll conclude with the agenda for today, and I will first ask Mariana.
I'll kindly ask the scrutineers to start collecting the voting cards. Please raise them high.
Yes, and in the meantime, I will explain what is happening tomorrow. So first, in the first session, we'll first take the External Relations Department reports. Then we'll go to the Internal Affairs Department reports. And then, if there's still time, we'll go to the Annual Reception 2019 point. And if there is still time, we'll go to the TORVA changes, handbook changes, IDD, compendium, and working statements, because that's the only thing we can still take tomorrow. Everything else will have to be on Saturday. But the TORVA changes and so on will happen only if there's still time. So we'll see if they actually happen or not tomorrow, just as a warning, so you can get prepared, just in case.
Clarification from BPSA?
Sally, BPSA UK. I don't quite understand how it works because we're listening to reports and then we vote on some, but then we don't vote on some. And sorry, I'm confused.
Yes, Eva, President. So once
Marta of Portugal, we would like to make a suggestion regarding the logistic of the lunch, because we feel like the official delegates should go to lunch first, because today it almost took me an hour to get my food, and I think if we are not here, we lose our voting rights, and it's kind of upset. Just a suggestion.
Eva, President, yes, we'll discuss it with the RC. For tomorrow, there's nothing after lunch anyway, but for Saturday, we'll try to arrange it and we'll see how it goes.
I have collected 23 voting cards.
And I suspend the standing orders. See you tomorrow.